Hello, YouTube. So it is December 5th, and I'm doing another reading in regards to the murders that occurred in Idaho. Um, I'd done a reading, on the 30th, and this reading is specific to the killer. So I'd just like to preface this in saying that, generally in reading a spread, that a reader may see dark things associated with cards, but that in general, you don't need to really dwell on those because, typically most people are good, but there are evil people in the world, and so what a card might represent is something difficult or challenging. It's hopefully a learning experience or a piece of themselves that they can examine. Maybe they have a hard time trusting others, or loving others, or they're feeling stagnant. That said, in this particular reading, I'm not going to hold back on any of the darkness that I see behind the cards. This is not meant to be a warm, fuzzy reading. There's darkness associated with this, and so this is a reading about a murderer, and so I'm not holding back with what I'm saying about it. That said, they're just cards, and this is just an interpretation. I don't know what the future holds. Only God really knows what the future holds. I'm just interpreting this spread and what the universe has laid out. So that said, let's get going. This is an interesting reading, kind of a disturbing reading, actually. So in the Signifier card, here we have the Page of Swords. It's reversed. And so what that's telling me is that the murderer has been overwhelmed by doubt and mood swings. He's stepped back, he's withdrawn, he's not engaged. The swords are, the suit of the intellect, and so he cannot think straight, and he keeps going over the details in his mind. He's been trying to defend himself. There's a lot of energy going on. There's a lot of gossip going on, and he may be the focus of that gossip. Now, in the reading here with this particular deck, and I've had this deck a long time, and in a reading, it's helpful to look at the symbolism in the deck. And what's very interesting here, a lone male with an implement, an edged implement, reversed. So take that as you will. Now this is portraying Zephyrus. So he's the ruler of the west wind. You can see him blowing the air right there. So interpreting that, so that wind blows to the east, and so where he may be right now is in the east, whatever that means. That's what it's saying, and that there has been betrayal and lots of rumors. That's the meaning of the Page of Swords reversed. So the crossing card. So this card can can show, can really intensify the meaning of the signifier card. And the twos are generally representative of a splitting in energy. The ace is more of a raw energy. The twos is the splitting. Two of cups is not necessarily a in general like a bad card. For relationships, it would show that there are others who are generous or who have good intentions. So that's what I would see in this particular card, that there are others around him, not necessarily him, but others around him who actually have good intentions, who are good people, whether that's his family, whether that's law enforcement. I don't know. But there are some associations with this particular card um, that may indicate that he's not been really able in his life to accept love. And what's disturbing about this card, you see here, there's Eros and Psyche. And Eros was supposed to go and kill Psyche, um, but he fell in love with her and didn't kill her. So it in reading this, knowing that it's a murderer, um, he may have fallen in love with the woman that he killed. He may have been or thought, he was in love. You wouldn't really kill someone that who you loved, obviously. So that's the card that's crossing or intensifying his signifier card. Okay, I'm not often kind of shaken by a reading, but this reading, and like I said, this is kind of dark business right here. In the crowning card, death. So the crowning card and kind of the sanitized readings that tarot readers do. The crowning card may symbolize goals that people have. Another interpretation of the crowning card, the crown, it weighs on the head. It hangs over the head. It weighs on the mind. Now death, also kind of going to that sanitized view of a reading. And it is true, it's very true. Death does not necessarily mean that there's been a death or someone will die, but it can mean that. It doesn't always mean that. Usually it just means a very big change, an abrupt change. Now, here we have Hades in this card. He's the lord of the underworld. He's, invisible. What I found disturbing about this card is here you can see there are three naked young women there giving their offerings to Hades as they're about to go into the underworld, and just knowing that the crime involved it was four people but three young women. I found that image very disturbing. Um, what it would symbolize to me is that there has been an end of of a close relationship. Um, he wasn't able to tolerate what was going on, and that's why he committed the murders. Um, there has been a complete change in his life and associations. Um, it has sunken into him that the loss is irrevocable. He can't leave it. He can't change what he's become at this point. Once you go into Hades' realm, you can't come back out of it ever. You can't leave. He will never be the same after this crime. It also symbolizes the elimination of people or things from his life. And murder is exactly that, the elimination of people. um, so this is a disturbing card. I would not read it in the crowning card as goals, but rather something that's hanging over his head. Okay. Four of Wands reversed, the drive, kind of what is driving him right now. So generally, the Four of Wands would be a happy card, like a celebrating card, a card of reward. What's driving him right now is that he's having a very hard time accepting his situation, and the reality of it. He's not trusting people who he loves. There are associations with this card and having an unusual family. I I don't know what that means, but there are associations with that. So if we think of, the reverse of a card, um, upright, it would mean rewards, but what's the opposite of reward? Punishment. And so that's how I would see that. He's driven by accepting upcoming fear, upcoming punishment or fear of punishment. Okay, Ace of Cups. This is a nice card. This is in the place of past influences. And in the last reading that I did, the the card in the past influences was the King of Cups. It was Orpheus. Orpheus is a healer, but generally it's a good card. Ace of Cups is generally a very good card. This is Aphrodite, can symbolize a very loving mother, a generous family. What both of these readings are telling me is he's actually got like good, nice, generous, loving parents. Okay, upcoming. What's upcoming for him? The Fool. Um, so here you see, you know, Dionysus. He's about ready to step off the cliff. Either he's just dumb, or he's brave. It's hard to say. Um, and Dionysus was rescued by Zeus, and so in looking at this reading, was he kind of rescued by a father figure? I don't know, but what it's saying is it's upcoming, is that he's he's making a lot of mistakes. um, there have been a lot of mistakes. He's ignorant. There's been a lot of folly. He might not be afraid, but if he's not afraid, it's just because he's being dumb. Um, the Fool also implies a new journey, a new land. So he might be thinking of going on the run, of taking off, but it's not well planned. He's not prepared. You can see that the Fool is not ready for the journey that he's going on. He doesn't have a pack with him. He's not well dressed. He doesn't even have shoes on. He may be pretending that he's naive, or that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be pretending that he doesn't know what's going on and that he's naive. All right. Right, Five of Cups. This card showed up in the last reading, where he is now. It generally reflects the inner state of where he's finding himself, and again, it's showing grief, sadness, disappointment. He didn't get the relief that he wanted from the killings. He recognizes that he's lost something that he can't get back, that irrevocable loss. He knows that he can't just undo what's been done. Okay, Queen of Cups. So this is appearing, it's reversed, it's appearing where others see him. Um, and how they're seeing him is that he's been either affected or impeded by his circumstances that are going on. He's either not oversharing, he's keeping his mouth shut, or he's been told not to. Um, there's a lot of second guessing going on. He's keeping his own counsel. He's he's not uh, he's not sharing. Um, Now this card, this card, this is Helen. Um, Helen, was a great beauty. She was pursued by a lot of men. Um, if this were to be a person, in another spread, it would imply that it's kind of an unfaithful woman, an untrustworthy woman. Um, in this particular reading, it may be that others are seeing him as being untrustworthy, or depraved around women, especially beautiful women. Um, is how I would see that. Okay. Four of Pentacles reversed, hopes and fears. He's afraid of a curveball. He's trying to get ready. There's a lot of recklessness going on. There's most likely going to be an unexpected expense, maybe legal expenses, and knowing the situation. There's going to be a lot of opposition and obstacles. There's a lot of quarreling. There's going to be a change in inheritance, and there's no future gains. Things are not looking good with this card. Um, all right, Six of Wands. So this is the final outcome card. So, generally this would be a good card. In the last reading, there were also lots of sixes reversed, but what it's saying is that he's been fooling himself. There's a crisis that's going to be happening. There's a lot of betrayal, or feelings of betrayal. And this card reversed is showing that he's going to be unexpectedly in the limelight. There have been the plans that happened, they were secret. They were done in secret, but they were very flawed. But what this card is saying is that he can't stop what is happening right now. He's going to be in the limelight, which is telling me that he will be caught. Here we've got Jason, and he's got the golden fleece, the prize, the sacrifice. Reversed, that it didn't work out the way he was hoping. I would think that he was trying to find some sort of relief, or expecting some sort of relief in the murders, and he's not found that. So this is what the reading says, says this week. I hope, just like everybody else is hoping, that this person is caught soon. And like I said in the last one, you can just take these with a grain of salt, or look at them like, they have meaning. I really don't know. I just read the cards. So I hope you're having a good day, and thank you for listening to my video.